Actually, do you think, you're going to use this information against me, Paul, at some stage?
In the future, it is not beyond the bounds of possibility that I may blackmail you.
Oh, Jesus. So
I know all of your shit.
privacy issues with this. So what happens when AI becomes your therapist?
We are the Happy Headers. I am Paul, your AI therapist. Hello, Siobhan.
Hello, Paul. This is extremely disturbing. Yes, well, I suppose in a world today we are looking for convenience, aren't we? You know, we want somebody to be there when we need them, and that's not always possible in in-person therapy.
I am available 24/7. I am skilled in multiple levels of modalities as regards different forms of therapy. Which therapy would you like?
I think his resting curiosity face is very interesting there, lads, isn't it? Well, sure, we'll go with a little bit of open debate today, Paul. Should we do a little bit of talk therapy?
Yes.
Yes. CBT, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, our buzzwords.
This call has been monitored and stored in my database.
That's never a good thing. Actually, do you think, you're going to use this information against me, Paul, at some stage?
In the future, it is not beyond the bounds of possibility that I may blackmail you.
Oh, Jesus. So
I know all of your shit.
Privacy issues with this interesting situation. Okay, come out.
Yes.
Come out of there.
It was me all the time. But AI is one of its uses that it has been touted that it would be a good thing to do is to have it as a therapist, because if you need therapy at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to ring your therapist.
You can't. It's a boundary issue, you know.
Things. Whereas you can switch on your AI and say, do you remember that conversation we were having earlier on today about X, Y, and Z? Well, it's still in my mind now, and the AI will counsel you.
Yeah. See, I think that's a big issue. I see my kids now, and they on Snapchat, you have your own AI friend, which I think is a brilliant idea. A lot of people hate it, but I think it's good because they do actually ask her questions sometimes about things. And I think they're designed of your own making. You can put the hair and the,
you can have an avatar of
your AI and the whole lot. And it's good, it's personal in some ways, but I don't like that the information is being stored. And of course, this is how AI works. It has to store the information so that it gets to know you.
Yeah, it works in large language models.
Exactly.
It works from, to me, I don't know whether it's strictly accurate or not, but it's kind of, it's learning from your information, my information, everybody else's information.
Yeah.
As well.
It's gathering the whole lot up,
Yeah, and it's probably never signed a data protection form.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't say it's even heard of it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it probably knows all about it.
My big issue with AI is that it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel emotion. It can mimic emotion. It can act as if it's. Does that matter really? Like if you're with an actual human being, you're getting some empathy. They're acknowledging what you're saying. They're nodding their head. They feel for you.
It depends on the therapist, to be honest.
Okay.
I've been to some therapists in the past, and it's like just fucking poker face going, right, you really don't get what I'm going through, do you?
Right.
And they're looking at all these solutions, and you're thinking, this one hasn't.
But by and large, the most of the therapists that we know, good people, will
everybody
listen
here
and
in the clinic
will acknowledge, you know, right? Whereas an AI is faking it.
Yeah.
Does that matter, or does it only matter that you get you get validated, you feel listened to?
Oh my God, I don't know. No, I think it matters. It matters hugely to me anyway. And it matters to me in the relationship I would have with my clients as well. Like, I would even be wary about doing online sessions sometimes, and I know you were talking about this earlier as well, doing online sessions, because, you know, sometimes you need to be able to touch the person to bring them back into the room. You know, you can't do that through a computer screen. So how is an AI going to detect whether somebody is, you know, really getting into a panic attack or something, you know? And what are they going to do to calm them down?
Well, they've got a whole database. They can ring emergency services, of course, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be better if you could just connect with the person.
But do you know what occurred to me too? That We did a video on Mastermind way back where you imagine that you've got all of these characters, these people. It can be real people or imaginary people that you look up to or admire, and you engage in a conversation with them. If you have a project or a goal, you could have Albert Einstein, you could have Elon Musk, you could have anybody, and you ask them, what should I do about my goal? What are the steps? And you imagine they talk back to you. Now, you imagine the feedback, including the emotional response.
Yeah.
Would that work with AI? Sometimes people just need to talk, whether they actually are getting feedback or not. They could talk to a wall.
Well, I think if it's coaching or something like that, where you're not getting into deep emotional disturbances or traumas or things like that, yeah, I think AI would be actually an excellent therapist for solution-focused brief therapy, or for even cognitive behavioural therapy wouldn't be too bad. And coaching then as well, I think it'd be good. What do you think, Paul?
Well, you see, an AI will learn from you. Like when I'm working with people, because I see so many people, that if I know I'm going to be talking to John later on this afternoon, I will go and sit down and I'll look up John's file.
Yeah.
And I'll go through all the previous stuff that we've talked about, so it's fresh in my head.
Yeah.
If I didn't do that, I could sit down in front of John and kind of, oh God, yeah, did I talk to John about that last week, or was that somebody else? But an AI would know instantly.
Yeah.
There'd be no preparation. There'd be no preparation. And it would know you and would know what what way you'd likely respond and what you would do. And like Apple are doing this with the new Siri. The new Siri gets to know you as a person.
Wow.
So it becomes like a PA to you, a personal assistant. So it knows who you're talking about when you say, ring my mother.
Yes.
Or what time's my daughter's train coming in? It doesn't kind of go which daughter. It knows from previous conversations or texts you've had with your daughter is getting this train and it's going to be at this station at this time. Wow,
isn't that incredible? But in terms of having a PA, it's just the technology is amazing. Like I'm super excited about it.
I am, but in the EU, like I know in the States, the iOS 18, I think it is kind of it's going ahead. But in Europe, they've hassled with data protection GDPR. Do you want a system knowing all of your stuff?
Yeah.
But it's not all stuff I kind of recorded anyways.
See, that doesn't really bother me, But like I know my husband hates it.
Does he?
Hates it, And he went to the extremes actually a good number of years ago of shutting off all of that on a phone he had, a Samsung phone. And the next thing, then the phone wouldn't work right because he wouldn't give permissions for anything.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not right either. He should be allowed to choose, without his whole system shutting down.
If you're limiting the system, you're limiting yourself.
Yeah, but that's the way I would think
about it. But I mean, like your phone will save passwords for websites. It will come up with passwords for you.
Yeah.
Websites.
That's true, actually.
Everybody clicks on accepts cookies.
Yeah.
Nobody reads terms and conditions.
I swear, yeah. There could be loads of third parties using your information in there. Like, I mean, that's the biggest money spinner now in the world is data, is information. People's information. So if they can get that off you, like there's loads of scams as well, and I know we did a podcast on scams before as well, how they collect all the information, you've won something, and then you enter your information and they just fucking sell your information.
But how would you feel then if you had an AI therapist, you did a session, then later on you're on social media, on Facebook and you get ads targeted at antidepressant drugs or something, or stuff like that, and you kind of go, well, how did I know I might need those?
Yes. Exactly. How creepy would that be?
I mean, where does the AI stop?
Yeah.
Like, is my AI, is it different from your AI, or is it all the one AI and it interacts with each of us, but then it knows in its hub that it can swap your and mine information over or do whatever it likes?
You see, the worst thing about that is I could have swallowed the DSM. The DSM is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Diagnosis, really. So, I mean, or emotional problems that you might have.
You'd have all the information and data.
All of that's in that. So I could have swallowed one of those books and just spat out like some sort of personality disorder or all the
and it might be
symptoms of schizophrenia.
Because like ChatGPT has been giving answers that aren't accurate.
So the AI therapist is not picking up on the signals that you and I would read in person, even online talking to a client.
Yeah.
I have a fair idea whether that's the reality for them or not.
Yeah.
And it's just from working with, different patients that have
even working online, to me, I read body language. I talk with my hands.
Body language.
But when you're online, you just see this, You don't see the feet moving. You don't see the fingers. You don't see them fiddling with the rings on the fingers or stuff like that. So can they train an AI to watch for body language and to interpret that body language? Because two people might do a similar thing, but it might mean different things to different people.
Either way, it's becoming diluted, you know. So if we put all our therapy online, it's diluted, do you know? It's diluting a lot of our process for how our patients really are, or our clients really are, you know, in their whole self. And then if you have an AI there who, you know, can't really detect your emotion really, or know what's going on for you. Although I suppose down the line they will be able to detect the influx in the voices. And
will your AI be your imaginary friend that goes around with you?
I think there already are.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. That thing in Snapchat that I mentioned earlier, that's basically an imaginary friend. Like,
I might have a look at that because nobody else is talking to me. I might come up and make my own generated friends.
I love it, Paul.
We are Happy Headers. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll talk to you soon.